Welcome back to Be The Trader, everyone. Today, I'm actually going to be talking about VWAP. Everyone knows, they hear VWAP over and over and over, but people use it differently. Well, today I'm going to share with you how I personally use it and why sometimes I don't use it at all. Stay tuned. What's going on, everyone? Today I want to share with you how I look at VWAP, how I use it when I do use it, and kind of explain a little bit about how most traders tend to use VWAP. Now, VWAP stands for volume weighted average price, and just to let you know, all indicators, all of them, they are delayed. So they're not instantaneous. You don't get the most accurate information. However, VWAP is used a lot for a lot of traders to go long or to short, because you can see whether maybe you're on the front side or back side, or if it's on, maybe it's more, strength, there's more bulls in or more bears. And I'm going to explain that here in a minute, but I need you to understand that VWAP is not the say all be all. In fact, I actually took VWAP completely off my charts and have nothing on my charts anymore. It was the only indicator I ever did use. At the beginning of my trading, I didn't use it, then I used it, and now I'm back to never using any indicators. I just like volume, price, and resistance and support. But I do want to share with you how I did use it and how I have found success with it. But at the end of the day, just know it's not necessary. So, to explain this ticker, we're just going to look at a couple of stocks. It doesn't matter. We're not looking at setups, big picture. That's another video. We're mainly focused on VWAP. So VWAP, some people like to use it as an indication to go long. There's VWAP strategies out there on when to buy a stock and when to short. Some people like to use it when this stock is first off at the open. When the stock opens up, VWAP is not accurate at all. In fact, it is very delayed because it hasn't had enough information. Because the volume that's going to come in at the open is so significant compared to pre-market that VWAP is not going to be accurate. I have found VWAP to be more accurate after the first hour and a half, which you can see here. I open at 8:30, this is Central Time. Here's an hour and a half. And then you start to hold VWAP. It shows you that this stock is holding VWAP. That means the bulls are in control. There's a lot more longs in this. It's still pretty strong. It may not be the best to short full size. You can still see it's downtrending, so you could still base a case that you should short it. But just know that you're still on the front side of the move. However, if you chase a short like some people do when VWAP breaks, you may have to have a tighter risk, or you have to have a very, very wide risk, depending on how you trade. But another simple thing, just to keep it very simple, a lot of people make these long videos to make it seem so complicated, but when VWAP, it's over VWAP, it's strong. When it's under VWAP, it's weak. But you can see there's fake outs. Nothing is just black and white. At this moment, here's at the open. So like I said, at the open, it doesn't really matter what VWAP has to say, but after the first hour and a half, it's strong. But then we break under VWAP, and then fight underneath it for a little bit. But once we reclaim VWAP and hold, you can see it starts to take off. And what do we have here? Volume. Volume taking off, and then it just starts squeezing. Because it held over VWAP and it reclaimed it, so we have a lot of VWAP dip buyers. Because at first, you have people shorting it when it breaks under VWAP. You have tons of short sellers who play this way. And then when it starts to squeeze and starts to hold VWAP, they're covering, which means they have to buy to get out of this short position. And then people who are buying for the first time are buying it because they see it squeezing with volume. And the good traders are also seeing that, hey, this thing is trending and we're breaking out of this high and we have good volume. Like, there's so many things that are combined that show you it's a good trade, which is why I say VWAP isn't really necessary. However, if you do like to use indicators, this is the one I did use for a while. So let's look at another ticker, just random SPY, okay? So SPY here, you can see this is a 5-minute chart. You can see here, it was holding VWAP. You can see in the first hour and a half, it really didn't matter. right? At the first hour and a half, VWAP is just over under. It doesn't really show anything. But then after an hour and a half goes by, we start to hold VWAP. And once we start to hold VWAP, you can buy near this area risking a support level, because you don't just want to risk VWAP, by the way. If you just risk VWAP, you're going to get shaken out a lot, because you can see it perks right on, but it still holds trend, right? So you want to always pick a key area, like maybe this area, this 322 or this 322.03 or maybe low a day. But just know you use it more as a guide. So when you enter your stock, you want to be entering near VWAP if you're buying, if you're dip buying, and then selling on perks, right? And you can see after 10 o'clock, VWAP really does work a lot better. You know, dips of VWAP, spikes, dips, spikes. But then when we crack, same thing. When we crack, all of these people who are buying the VWAP, showing that it's strong, once it cracks, this thing goes. And this is what I mean by some people are shorting this crack, where, you know, at the end of the day, this just looks like, if you're looking at this big picture, right? Let's just say you're looking at this without VWAP. You can easily see, depending on how you draw your lines, you can see why this might be a better entry though. But VWAP, if you're, you know, someone who doesn't understand the price, the stock, the volume, all of these indicators, the big picture, then you might want to use this as an indicator. And if you do, you can see that maybe I'll enter here and risk somewhere up here. I don't know, you know, personally, I would need to risk pretty high. But some people would risk, you know, just a random arbitrary number, which is, in my opinion, the wrong thing to do. But if you have tracked that and you tracked, hey, every time it breaks VWAP, I can risk 30 cents or $1 on the SPY, and I'm usually right, then you can do that. I mean, that's up to you. You got to track it. But you can see how VWAP works here. Look at today. First hour, it doesn't really work. It's kind of choppy. You don't know if it's going to be up or down at all. This is a 5-minute. But then after the hour and a half, right? Here's an hour and a half. What happens? Hour and a half is right here. We dip, hold VWAP. You can buy near VWAP and then ride. And this thing just continues and it's still strong on the day. And this stock is strong. Like, I don't see why you would short it, because at the end of the day, this is a strong stock. If you take off VWAP, let me just show you guys. If you remove VWAP, what do you see? You see a strong stock. Even if we do this, you see consolidation, spike with volume, higher than these candles. That's a strong stock. Why would you be shorting this right now? I wouldn't. I would not be shorting it. And then we continue to run up and we start to set higher lows. Like, price action overall tells you everything, but some people want to use VWAP. So I wanted to make this quick video. I know it's quick and you're probably like, well, is that it? Yes, that's really it. VWAP is used that simple. And if it can reclaim VWAP, like I said earlier, and hold, like let's say VWAP is right here. Let's just say it reclaims VWAP right here, right? And holds and then pushes with volume, which this one does not, but pushes with volume. That in itself is its own pattern. Do I trade it? No, because I just don't believe in that as much. Everyone trades different. I know people who trade that pattern exclusively. They love it, but it's not for me. So thanks for watching this content. If you are enjoying this type of content, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. And also comment below and let me know any ideas that maybe come to mind that you'd like to see, because those ideas can spark new ideas that I may be able to implement in the future. Thanks.